Hey everybody, my video my video is the review video after the 49ers and Minnesota playoff game, divisional playoff game. I'm going to talk about that game. The 49ers won. It's a good feeling. I was going to do this video right after that game, but I was a little late on it, but I'm doing it anyway. So, and I think in this video too, I'll also talk about the upcoming Packer game and some of the respect the 49ers aren't getting, especially by guys like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith and some of these others on ESPN and all these other Fox One Sports and all those. So um, but I think the 49ers looked good in that game. They really did. They looked like their old self against the Vikings. And the reason why I think is because some of the guys are coming back. Quan Alexander came back, D Ford came back, Tart came back, and the defense. And then they also signed a guy, Earl Mitchell. There was another guy, I can't remember his name, that they signed. It's in the back of my head somewhere, but he played for Detroit and Cleveland, I think. But he's contributing really good too. And so the defense just looks like it did early in the season, which couldn't come at a better time. And see, that's what a bye will do for your team. It'll make you re-energized, better again, and healthier again. And in the game, the 49ers showed that they were the fresher team. They went out there, they dominated. They dominated across the board. Defensively, special teams, they did good. I think offensively, I think they could have done a little better. I don't think they did a bad job, but then again, they could have done better on things. I think when the offense came out in this game, the 49er offense looked crisp. The first drive, they looked crisp, methodical. They got it down there and scored a touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo hit Kendrick Bourne in the end zone for a touchdown. But after that, the offense kind of struggled a little bit, and there were some three and outs, but and then there was a point in the game where Jimmy Garoppolo threw an interception, and thrown into some coverages also. But it's understandable. This is his first playoff game, and he's learned some things from this game. He's now has playoff experience going into the next game. He's learned some things from these mistakes, and I think he's going to get better as we move along here in the postseason. That interception, though, I think it was more of a kind of a timing problem or timing thing, or misread. But the Vikings have a really good defense, and I think that was part of the reason why Jimmy struggled a little bit against it. But our running game was good. Our running game was able to move the ball very well, and it scored a couple of touchdowns. And I'm just so happy, that we won that game the way we did. We really played that game like we wanted it, and the Vikings didn't look like the big bad Vikings that we were hearing about, because I was nervous about the game. I think a lot of us were nervous because of what the people were saying, that the Vikings were a team that they went into New Orleans and beat one of the best teams in the playoffs, that some regarded as the best team, although I believe we're the best team. And they went in there and beat them, and then everybody tried to turn the Vikings into a scary team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs. They came in and we basically made them look terrible, like they didn't even belong, and we beat them and sent them home. Now, the whole team though has playoff experience now. The whole team, because we got experience from one playoff game. That was one of the concerns that people had about this game. Was people were saying, that the team doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. There's maybe about 4 players on the team that have been in the playoffs, but not many. And but now all of these guys have playoff experience. All of them. I mean, they played in it, and now they can go to the next game with that experience and take it with them. And and the next game will be an interesting game as well. I'll get into that. I'm gonna kind of talk about the Viking game, talk about the Packer game coming up, and then I'm going to talk about some of this stuff that I've been hearing. All the disrespect towards the Niners, disrespect towards Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the media, disrespect to the team in general. And, it really irks me when I watch these morning shows and read about the tweets that some of these analysts are saying about our team and our players. It's. I mean, I know that I know that you shouldn't really make a big deal out of this, something like that. But if you're a fan of a team, and that team is special to you, and you like that team, and you like the players on it, and you hear that kind of trash, you don't like it. It does kind of strike a nerve somewhat. Um, but anyways, the Viking game. Going back to the Viking game, the Viking game was we played good. Um, some people were trying to compare it to another '87 upset, like what happened in '87. But the thing is, this was different situation than '87. In '87, when the 49ers had best home field advantage, the home field advantage and all that, and the favorites to win it all. What was wrong with that 49er team was they just weren't into it at that time. That game, they weren't into it, and like they were, there was something wrong with that team that day. They just weren't into it. But this 49er team, going into this last game that they played, they were into it. They were jacked up. You could see just on the field, they looked loose. They looked ready to go, and they showed it on the field. And they went after Kirk Cousins. You see, this defense, is basically built to go after these kind of quarterbacks. These quarterbacks that like to sit in the pocket, stand in the pocket for a long time. They went after them, and they got him. Now one of the things that bothered me in this game was Witherspoon. There was a play where Kirk Cousins threw a pass to Diggs down the field, and Witherspoon just like falls down and lets him catch the ball and run into the end zone with it. I mean, it just looks so reckless of Witherspoon. He's out there, on the receiver, and and as the ball comes down, he just like falls down to the ground and lets the guy score. Witherspoon is dangerous in these playoffs. This could cost us if he's in there during a really important play. Let's say against the next, the Green Bay, or if we advance to the Super Bowl. What if it comes down to a play where we got to stop them from scoring to win the game, and Witherspoon just blows the game by not covering well? That concerns me about him. This is the playoffs. This is not preseason, and he plays like it's still the preseason for some reason. And I just heard that he wants to, if he can't play corner, he says that he wants to return kicks. I wouldn't even let him return kicks. He might be like another Kyle Williams. Remember that in 2011 when Kyle Williams, in that NFC Championship game against the Giants, he let the ball like hit him like this in the knee, and then the Giants would get it. He turned the ball over a couple of times. It cost the Niners that game. No, I would not want Witherspoon even to return kicks. Forget it. When you're in the playoffs, you want your best people out there. You want the people out there that are going to make a difference. And Witherspoon, I know that Kyle wants to, maybe they want him to play because they want him to, keep his confidence, and but these games are elimination games. We don't have, we can't have this kind of foolishness out there. We gotta have our best guys out there playing. And so that kind of bothered me. Jimmy Garoppolo threw an interception, but you know, like I said, it was a misread, and I think that the defense we were playing was pretty good, so they probably, you know, probably created some kind of something that made Jimmy misread or whatever. But it is what it is, and most important thing is we won. And and but yeah, I don't think the Saints were the big bad team that, or excuse me, the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings were the big bad team that people said that was coming to play us. Um, Obviously, the Saints. You know, I don't know. The Saints didn't play very, just probably didn't play very well. I think Drew Brees didn't play very well against them. So it is a hard place to play though. But I think that we did a good job, and I think that this is good for our players to get this kind of experience in there, playing in a playoff game. Now they can take that with them into the next game. But I'm so happy to get this win. It's really nice. It's always, when a game comes up in the playoffs, you're kind of like, oh my god, oh my god, this elimination game, we got to win. I don't want it to end now. And then once you win that game, it's like you get a whole another week of relaxation. But during game time next week, I'm sure we'll all get nervous again. But we really, I think that now going to the Packer game, I think the Packers, we cannot take them lightly. Now I know we blew them out. We blew them out 37-8. It was a Week 13 game. I think it was Week 13 or Week 12. I can't remember, but it was around that time, and we blew them out, and we humiliated them on primetime television. And so I'm sure that they are embarrassed by that performance. Of course, our team had something to do with that too. So I think they're going to try to come into this game and play a little bit better than what they did in that game. So, but Kyle Shanahan says that he's not going to, take the Packers lightly. He's expecting a different team coming in there. He's going to share this with the team that don't take these guys lightly. This is a different football team coming in here to play us. I'm glad he's given these players that kind of feeling, so they're not caught off guard. Um, so, but the Packers, I think we should be able to beat them. I do think though, I think that our defense though, I think our defense will slow them down. I think that our defense will put pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to score a lot of points against us again. But I think what the Packers may try to do is they'll try to win the game with defense. If they know that they're struggling against our defense, they'll try to win it with defense. They'll try to make it into a defensive game, try to keep it close, and then hoping Aaron Rodgers will get a chance at the end. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to play really good defense against our offense. That's what I think. That's what I think they might do to at least keep the score close than it was before. So I'm kind of thinking they'll do something like that. But here's the thing that so I think the Packers are going to be, we can't take them lightly. I think we can beat them. I did want them over the Seahawks. I did want to play them over the Seahawks because Russell Wilson has given us a tough time all the time. I don't know what it is about Russell Wilson, and I hate to admit this, but he's been like a 49er slayer is what he's been like. He's been like a thorn in our side for so many years. His record against us is like, I think, 13-4 since he became a Seahawk. And when you look at that, it's like I don't want to play that. You don't want to play him anymore. And our defense doesn't really handle these scrambling quarterbacks very well. So our defense is more built for guys that pocket passers. Our defense is built for pocket passing type quarterbacks. So I'm just, and Russell Wilson has burned us so many times. So I'm glad we're not. I'm glad we're not playing him. I want a quarterback that doesn't have that kind of mobility. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and stuff like that. We gotta come after him defensively. We gotta put the rush on him, make him uncomfortable, get in his face, knock him down. Don't let him throw the ball. Or try to complete passes. Every time he drops back to pass, get to him. Don't give him any time. Because what I saw in that game between the Packers and Seattle the other night, whenever he had time, and the Hawks did give him time at times, he was able to complete passes. Those points they scored, I noticed at times on those drives they gave him time to throw, and if you give Aaron Rodgers time to throw, he will find a way to move the ball. So we got to come with a lot of pressure and a lot of heat on him. That's important. Now, and I think that we should be able to beat him. We'll be fine. Um, the Packers are, they're not a bad team. I know that they've had struggles in the past weeks, but they've won every game since we've beaten them. So we just have to play better. We have to play good against them. And play better than But see, the thing too is though our defense is going to be better because back then when we played them last time we didn't have we played them. We didn't have Quan Alexander, we didn't have Tart, we didn't have D Ford and some of these other guys, but now we got guys. We got those guys back from injury. We signed some free agent. Signed some guys, a free agent, and now our defense is upgraded since the last meeting with the Packers. So our defense should be better than it was then. So that should make a difference right there. And I'm gonna go with the point spread. I say that we could win. I think we'll win by. I'll say we'll win by 14. I think we could win by 7. But I do think at some point we're going to get up by a couple of scores, probably in the fourth quarter. I think that maybe for the most of the game it will be a 7-point spread, and then at some point we'll have like a 7-point lead. But then at some point we'll put another touchdown on the board, making it 14. 14 lead, and from there on we may take. After that we'll take control of the game. I think it might end up that way, but we'll see. But now I have a problem with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith and some of these others. They talk trash about the Niners. They really do. I've never seen anything like it. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of annoyed by Skip Bayless. Of his hatred towards Jimmy Garoppolo. It's unbelievable. Have you read his tweets? He says things about Jimmy Garoppolo that's I don't know. It's like he's almost got something personal on him for some reason. Like one of them is that during the game he tweeted, and Jimmy G gets away with getting blasted on the 3rd and 10, throwing a flutter ball that could have been intercepted as easily as it could have been caught. Pure luck. This game will come down to which quarterback plays less bad. And then he said, then he also said, I predicted a 30-10. Neither quarterback was very good, but the Niners ran 186 yards to the Vikings 21 and dominated the clock. Niners are just better. Now they'd better hope Russell Wilson doesn't get one more shot at them. So, and then, so what is he saying? Is he saying that we're going to lose to either one, we're going to lose to the we would lose to the Seahawks, but also lose to the Packers too. Doesn't give us much of a, and then the thing that really disturbed me is he says surely the great Aaron Rodgers can outplay Jimmy Garoppolo in the NFC Championship game. So basically, what he's saying right there is that he believes that Jimmy Garoppolo or that Aaron Rodgers is going to outperform Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, I got something to say about that, Skip. Who's got the better defense? Which team has the better defense? Jimmy Garoppolo's team has the better defense. You know what that means? That means Aaron Rodgers is not going to have a great day. I say that the team with the better defense will win. That's what I believe is going to happen. And you can take that to the bank. I think that I just think that Skip Bayless. When I watch him and Shannon Sharp on that show, Undisputed, they're always saying things like, "Oh, I wouldn't trust Jimmy G at all. I don't trust him. He throws way too many interceptions." Okay, he throws interceptions, maybe one or two a game, but he still gets the job done. And I have not seen him turn the ball over in the most crucial point in the game that costs them. I have not seen him do that. And I have seen him win in the clutch, too. Like the game against the Rams, 2 3rd and 16s that he was able to convert. There was the Saints game. He got into a shootout with Drew Brees in down there in New Orleans. And Stephen A. Smith said recently, "Well, Jimmy G, he's got to prove it to me. He hasn't proved it to me yet, and I don't even count that game in New Orleans because I just don't count that. I think that was just an apparition, or something." He said something like that, like he didn't think that game counted. But Jimmy Garoppolo, and the game against the Steelers early in the season, he led them right down the field and scored a winning touchdown. I just don't understand what it's almost like these guys have something personal against Jimmy Garoppolo. Is it because are they jealous of him? I mean, is it because he has a lot of money, a lot of women like him, they think he's a good-looking guy? Maybe their wives like Jimmy Garoppolo, and it kind of ticks them off. But anyways, yeah, I think that I think that's kind of unfortunate they feel that way, and a lot of people don't give us a chance at all. I mean, a lot of experts were picking the Vikings to beat us, and we practically blew them out by 17 points. So I don't understand where they go with this. It's ridiculous. But we just, I think that's what fuels this team. Why this team continues to win, I think they're fueled by, the skepticism, that they can be any good or win at all. They hear people, talk about their players like their players aren't big stars. They hear all this, and it's probably what motivates them. They're also motivated by something that Jed York told at the locker room a year ago when his brother Tony York died, that we want to get a ring for Tony, and I think that's contributing to this season so far. So, there's a lot, and maybe they want to get a ring for C.J. Beathard's, for C.J. Beathard because his brother died. So there's a lot of motivation that this team is riding on, but I know they want to win it now. But I think they're going to do fine. I think that I hear some of these analysts saying that they believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the 49ers. He's going to beat the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers. They believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to win in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers. Well, I got one question. What makes you think that that Aaron Rodgers is going to have any luck against our defense. Our defense is stout, and we have guys that have come back like Juan Alexander and D Ford and Tart. It is actually upgraded now. It's more of an upgraded defense since the last time we played them. What makes they act like Aaron Rodgers is some kind of Superman or something, like he's immortal, that he's the only quarterback that can slay that great 49er defense. He's a pocket passer, and our defense is built for pocket passers. That's what it's built for. And you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to come in there and have a record day against our defense? You're dreaming if that's what you believe. But a lot of these people on ESPN believe that. They believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to go in there and put on a show against our stout defense. I don't think so. The only way Aaron Rodgers will beat our defense is if our defense plays bad. If our defense doesn't have a good day, yeah, that could happen. But that's not going to happen because you know what? These guys understand the magnitude of this game. They know how important this game is. They all want to win it, and they want to win it in front of their fans, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it, and it's going to be, the 49ers can't take them lightly, and the 49ers got to be at their best because I know that the Packers will try to give us their best shot. But I'm telling you right now, Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, they are preaching, don't take these guys lightly. They're going to try to play us better this time. So I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready and ready to take these take them down. I'm tired of hearing all these people on the NFL Network and stuff like that, ESPN, thinking that Skip Bayless thinks the Packers are going to beat the 49ers in that NFC Championship game. What makes him think that Aaron Rodgers is going to kill the 49er defense? He's dreaming if he believes that. I don't know, I guess they just figure that, it's because the guy's name is Aaron Rodgers and NFC Championship. Oh yeah, future Hall of Fame quarterback. Let me tell you something. He may be a future Hall of Fame quarterback and one of the NFL's great quarterbacks, but he is a human being. He is no way going to single-handedly slay our defense. No way. No way. He's not Superman, okay? He's a human being. His farts stink just like everybody else. He's nothing special. I mean, he's a good quarterback, great quarterback, but he's not immortal, and he's not gonna beat us like what some of these analysts think. The only way we lose is if we play bad. That's the only way. So, and I think this team will be ready to go come Sunday. And the only thing is we advance to the Super Bowl. I don't know which team I would rather play though. I mean, whether I want to play, want to play the Titans or do I want us to play the Chiefs? I don't know. Mahomes is one of those scrambling quarterbacks. Normally, we don't do very well against the scrambling quarterback types. Like the Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murrays, the Lamar Jacksons. But I think that we could. The thing is though, when you look at the Titans, they don't have a guy that runs like that, but they have a pretty physical football team. Very physical. I mean, this team beat New England. It beat the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens were considered to be the best team in the AFC going into the playoffs. They're gone now. So, whoever it will be, if we get to the Super Bowl, I believe we will. We'll have a couple of weeks to figure that team out, and we'll see what happens there. But anyways, that's all I want to talk about, and everybody take care, and talk to you next weekend. All right. Everybody take care.